So my name is Mathias. I'm leading the effort of a cloud platform at Broadpeak. And we are going to talk about today about an experience I got like a few months back with Matrix, which is like, the last movie of Matrix has been released end of last year. And I got an experience with that, and we're going to talk about it. I tried to take the experience and see what we can do with it in our industry. And first of all, I would like to thank Robert and Alison because they were a great speaker before me, and they introduced like some concept that we are going to reuse today: manifest manipulation and channel assembly, and the data that you can use for personalizing your experience. So thanks for doing the talk before me. So yeah, a few months back, I was anxious to watch the latest Matrix movie. And it was very hard to get news about the movie. It was very hard to get the trailer. And what happened is like the team of Matrix, they released just a website that I'm going to show you today, which is The Choice is Yours, okay? And so they just released the website, and I'm going to show you the experience. So first of all, you need to choose between the red and the blue pill. So the red pill is like you get out of the matrix, and the blue pill you stick in the matrix. So let's just do let's choose the red pill, for instance. All right, so you may have noticed like during that experience, at some point they talk about like the 2:02 p.m., which is the exact time that we were watching the trailer. And what the team released basically is an experience where you can have like 500,000 different experiences based on like when you watch the trailer, what kind of pill you are choosing, where you are located, and these kind of things. And the most I was thinking about that experience, I was thinking, well, I got that experience on my laptop. It was a great experience. It was super immersive. I got a very good time. I was like super anxious to watch the movie. And I say, well, this is a web experience. I can see that happen very, very easily on my phone, on my tablet, on any kind of like web browser. And the more I was thinking about it, I would say like, well, why not having that also on my main screen? Why not having that on the TV I'm watching every day? Why not I cannot have the same kind of experience as immersive as that on my TV? And the more you are thinking about it, you say like, well, you can expand that concept to the entire EPG. Like the entire guide, you could propose something which is as immersive as that like the trailer we just experienced. So the concept of the presentation is really about the choice is yours. It's like either you stick to the EPG, which is present today everywhere, which is the same EPG for all the customers of a service provider, or you propose an EPG which can really be personalized and which can adapt to what I like, which can adapt to, like if it's Friday or if it's Monday, which can adapt to my mood, which can adapt to my audience. So the idea is to talk a little bit about that. So first of all, let's imagine we take the blue pill, right? And we stick to the traditional EPG. EPG, Electronic Program Guide, exists since 1981. It's a very, very stable technology. It has been used everywhere. But as of today, if you compare with the kind of experience you get in terms of user interface with direct-to-consumer application, that's very different. EPG, they are not as immersive. They are not as personalized. And so the kind of expectation you get coming from the direct-to-consumer application is different to what you have with EPG. Also, the EPG was somehow until now limited by the technology itself. Broadcast and multicast transport stream are used to deliver video over an EPG. And it's not something you can really scale. You have like a setup of a linear channel, and you need to stick to it. Okay, so you have one guide, one lineup per service provider, and you cannot like move away from that. If you think about it, EPG is not going anywhere. Like people are still going to consume live. they still need to have information on their schedule. So EPG is going to stick forever in our industry. So we talk about the blue pill. Let's assess what are the risks to take the red pill and why do we want to change an EPG, which is versus more than 30 years. Why taking the risk to change something which is working? So first of all, you can think that, like, well, if you don't change, it's a risk by itself, right? Because people will go to direct-to-consumer application if they prefer the experience there. And then the second thing that you should consider is, like, if you can personalize your EPG, you have direct benefits for it. I was getting some figures for a company called Speedeo. Speedeo, they do, like, it's a recommendation engine. It was telling me, like, as soon as you can personalize the content you deliver over an EPG, you have, like, more content interaction. People will check the different channels you have in the EPG. You have people are going to increase the ratio of click to watch. So on top of just checking the channels, they are going to watch them. And finally, people will come back more on the set-top box or on your service. Again, if you can propose something very, very personalized, you will have all of these benefits. So it's all about increasing viewer engagement. Now, thinking about the red pill itself, what kind of ingredient you can have in that red pill to enhance the experience of the EPG? So first of all, what you can do is, like, if you have an EPG of like 230, 300 and more channels, you can contextualize every single channel. Okay. Now, everyone in the industry is moving to ABR, and the concept of manifest manipulation, it can be used on a larger scale. It has been used for personalization. What we consider at Broadpeak is, like, right now, manifest manipulation has been limited in its use. Robert talked about it. It's super easy with manifest manipulation to do blackout, to do targeted ad. But you can do much more than that. You can actually generalize that concept across the full lineup. You could imagine using manifest manipulation for automatic parental control. So if you know that the people watch is a kid, you can actually, like, just get rid of the watershed and just making sure that there is nothing violent coming after 8 p.m. for the kid in front of the TV. If some of your customers are travelers, like people like us, if they move from East Coast to West Coast, you may want to basically delay a little bit the live and keep, the same schedule of on the East Coast, the people traveling in the West Coast. So you can make life easier for your customers. Finally, if some of your subscribers are coming from outside, for me, for example, it would be great to have, like, default subtitles. You basically give stuff to your customers that they don't expect, that they typically opt in by themselves. You can give them, you can do that in advance and really personalize the experience. Second ingredient is, of course, like, adding personalized virtual channel. Virtual channel is typically something that you build per audience. But if you think about it, like, there's actually no reason that you can do better and really do personalized virtual channel per user. Okay? Again, we have all the data for that. There's no problem at all. The main blocker right now is how you can get the information coming from a recommendation engine and integrate that in a manifest manipulator. Okay? So the concept that you should apply is getting your manifest manipulator, calling API coming from a recommendation engine. Every time that a user is connecting, on the fly, you create a channel for him. Okay, the same way that YouTube can create a channel for you, we can do that on an EPG as well. So now let's talk about, like, how our team is acting to help on that context. So we have built a platform which is called Broadpeak.io. Broadpeak.io, it's a video API SaaS platform that everyone can connect and get access to. So there's no need, like, to call anyone or to email anyone. You can just, sign up, log in, and you can start playing with our technology. You can start pushing your content, build, pushing some rules, and you can personalize the experience of your content. The concept itself is we will get, the manifest of the content on Broadpeak.io. And on top of that, we will use some specific rules in terms of audience, in terms of time, in terms of policy, using APIs such as HTTP2.4, using VAST for anything related to advertisement. or using just a basic API to create, like the virtual channels we were talking about before. And as soon as we get all of this information in Broadpeak.io, in our engine, we can definitely create one manifest per user and really personalize the experience that the customer will have in your system and in the EPG. Now, if we go a little bit deeper into the concept, again, we talk about channel assembly, and we talk about the fact like you can create channel per audience, but how do you do to create it per user? So again, like the concept is that as soon as a user is going to hit the system, the Broadpeak.io is going to call a recommendation engine using the ID of the user. And coming back to us, we will have a list of video on demand, which are recommended to that particular user. We will call an ad server to get access to some ads that we need to add in the schedule. We will also look at some live events, which can be interesting for that particular user. And using all of that information, we will create on the fly spatial schedule, and that spatial schedule will be applied per user. To conclude on the presentation, what I was trying to highlight today is to propose immersive experience, you don't need to do that on the web itself. You can also actually propose that on TV, on the set-top box, and on a regular EPG. You don't really need anymore to stick to one EPG with 350 channels that you are going to push to all of your users. You can really contextualize that EPG. You can personalize that EPG to your customers. And doing that right now is actually greener than before. In the past, again, like the way that you were personalizing the experience, like you were adding splicers regionally, it was super, super expensive. It was consuming a lot of power. Now, by using manifest manipulation, is all about manipulating a text file. We don't even touch the video itself. We're just changing a text file. And as I explained before, going to that is actually you have tangible and concrete ROI. You will have people being much more engaged with your technology, much more engaged with your platform. And so, of course, it's a way to get more revenue in the future and to lay groundwork for contextualized advertising. I think most of the challenge right now with targeting advertising is you don't really give a context. So sometimes you can target a person about his state or something like that, but people, they don't have the same expectation Friday night with Tuesday at noon, for instance. So you need to give context into that. And so it's a way also to lay groundwork for this and to expect a higher CPM in the future. So thank you for your attention today. Broadpeak.io, it's fully public, fully available. You can go ahead and try by yourself, putting your content. You have a 30-day trial. And yeah, if you have any questions, I'm happy to take them.
Any questions for Mathias? All right, and we didn't plan it this way, that these three presentations would work so nicely together. But maybe what we need to do is get a panel for Streaming Media West, right? And talk about the personalized viewing experience. Thanks so much, Mathias. If you have any questions for him, his contact info is on the screen. The winner of the $100 Amazon gift card from Broadpeak is Tommy Flanagan.